into shaking the NFL. The Chiefs' defensive monster is unleashed. The NFL isn't ready for what's coming out of Kansas City because Nick Bolton is playing like an unstoppable force of nature. Every snap, every hit, every read, he's not just playing football, he's dominating it. Bolton has always been a core part of the Chiefs' defense, but now he's evolving into something even bigger, a game wrecker. He's reading plays before they happen, crashing into ball carriers like a missile, and leading the defense with unshakable intensity. This isn't just hustle, it's high IQ violence, it's precision, it's fearlessness, and it's sending shockwaves across the league. With Bolton commanding the middle, the Chiefs' defense is a wall of steel, and that's the missing piece to a complete dynasty. Pair that with Mahomes and the offensive firepower, let's be real. Nobody's stopping Kansas City this year, not with Nick Bolton leading this defense. The Lombardi is coming home again. Get ready. The Chiefs aren't just trying to win. They're coming to dominate, and Nick Bolton is the heartbeat of that mission. Paired with Patrick Mahomes, Rice has become the ultimate weapon in Andy Reid's arsenal. A dynamic, fearless playmaker who can stretch the field, dominate after the catch, and leave defenders frozen in his wake. Whether it's third down, red zone, or a last-minute drive, Rice delivers. And if he continues at this level, there's only one outcome for the Chiefs this season: another Super Bowl championship. Chiefs Kingdom, get ready. Rashee Rice is exploding onto the scene, and the league can't stop him. This isn't hype, this is a warning. Kansas City is coming for it all in 2025, and Rashee might just be the secret weapon that gets them there. Y'all know I've been tracking this Kansas City Chiefs organization like a hawk, and let me tell you, what we're witnessing with this offensive line overhaul is absolutely electrifying. This isn't just your average offseason shuffle. This is Brett Veach and Andy Reid executing a bold, no-nonsense blueprint to fix what we all saw break down in the Super Bowl. I've been around this league long enough to recognize when a front office means business. And make no mistake, the Chiefs are locked in. They watched that Super Bowl performance, saw their offensive line falter when it mattered most, and said, never again. That's the mindset of a dynasty. That's why Kansas City remains the gold standard of the NFL. Let's unpack what's really happening here. The Chiefs knew, without a doubt, that their offensive line was the Achilles heel. Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in football, was scrambling for his life, trying to conjure miracles behind a line that simply wasn't holding up. You can't pursue titles with your generational quarterback playing survival football. So what does Brett Veach do? He goes out and secures Jalen Moore, a proven, battle-tested veteran with the experience and grit to protect the franchise. This wasn't desperation, it was strategic, calculated, and smart. Moore brings a veteran presence, leadership, and that I've been here before edge you need up front. But Veach didn't stop there. He doubled down and used a first-round pick on Josh Simmons. That move right there, that's a declaration. This is our foundation. This is where we win or lose. Simmons has the tools, the size, the athleticism, the refined technique to become something special. And better yet, he's stepping into a locker room with seasoned vets, elite coaching, and a quarterback who elevates everyone around him. Now, here's where it gets tactical. Kingsley Sumatia sliding from left tackle to left guard? That's not a demotion. That's chess, not checkers. Andy Reid and his staff are asking the real questions. How do we maximize each player's potential? If Sumatia thrives at guard, that's where he'll dominate. Forget draft status. This is about results. Yes, losing Joe Thuney stings. He was a rock. Consistent, durable, and respected. But elite franchises adapt. They don't crumble. And that's what we're seeing. Mahomes, he gets it. He's not whining about roster turnover. He's embracing it. He's leading, talking about reps, position shifts, and the grind of building chemistry. It takes reps, he said. Coach Heck's rotating guys around. JT's back, and we've got flexibility across the board. That's leadership. That's why Mahomes is different. Let's give flowers to Coach Andy Heck, too. The man is an O-line guru. He's building versatility into this unit. And come injury time, because that's inevitable, this cross-training will be priceless. And don't overlook Jawan Taylor's return. That's a massive boost for stability and continuity. Having a veteran anchor at right tackle gives this line a foundation to grow from. Sometimes the most powerful move isn't signing a superstar. It's getting your core guys healthy, locked in, and ready to ball. But let's keep it real. OTAs and minicamp, that's just the appetizer. When the real bullets start flying in the fall, that's when we'll see the fruit of these moves. And trust me, Chiefs Kingdom, this offensive line isn't just being rebuilt, it's being reborn. Y'all already know the grind doesn't stop, and neither does the scrutiny. What's unfolding with Kansas City's offensive line transformation isn't just compelling, it's championship-level strategy in motion. Let's cut through the fluff. OTAs and minicamps are glorified walkthroughs. The real test begins when the pads come on and the collisions get real. That's why training camp will be absolutely pivotal for this unit. Enter Steve Spagnuolo, the mastermind of mayhem. Spags is about to unleash the storm. He's going to dial up exotic blitz packages, mix deceptive fronts, and pressure this O-line like a pack of wolves. And he doesn't care if you're a 10-year vet or a first-round rookie, you're getting tested. Jalen Moore and Josh Simmons are about to experience the full brutality of NFL-caliber pass rush, and not just from any defense, from one of the most cunning defensive minds in the game. This is the proving ground. This is where legends are forged. This is where we find out if that free agency check and draft capital were well spent. The beauty of going up against Spagnuolo's unit, if you can withstand his schemes, you can withstand any front seven in the NFL. Spags has forgotten more about disrupting protection than most defensive coordinators will ever learn. He will push, challenge, and sharpen this offensive line with elite pressure. And when the season hits, that training will pay off like gold. What I truly respect about this whole situation is the calm confidence radiating from the Chiefs' front office. No panic, no hesitation. They saw a glaring flaw, and they attacked it head-on with precision and urgency. That's what winners do. They don't hope for change. They engineer solutions. This rebuild isn't just about keeping Mahomes upright, though that's clearly vital. It's about unlocking his full potential. It's about giving the most dangerous man in football time to dissect defenses with that golden arm and generational football IQ. Because let's be honest, when Mahomes has time, he's unstoppable. When he's running for his life, even he's mortal. That's why this O-line restructure is so important. It's not a rebuild, it's a reimagining. You've got Moore, the seasoned pro, ready to contribute on day one. Then Juju Smith's recently re-signed, muscled past McDuffie to secure another big game. These aren't the kinds of highlights we're used to seeing made at McDuffie's expense. But before the kingdom hits the panic button, breathe. This is still minicamp. No pads, no full contact, just elite athletes shaking off the rust. Still, it was jarring. McDuffie doesn't typically get outplayed, certainly not twice in a single day. What does it mean long-term? Likely very little. But what it does reveal is just how competitive this secondary truly is. Jalen Watson is back at full strength. Christian Fulton, newly added from the Chargers, is already turning heads. And even rookie corner Noah Williams, despite early hiccups, shows flashes of potential. If anything, McDuffie's minor missteps are a testament to how stacked and sharp this unit really is. Now let's pivot to a name that's rapidly gaining steam, Tyquan Thornton. The former Baylor speedster and expatriate is making a serious push for a final wide receiver spot. He's impressed throughout OTAs and now is earning reps as a special teams gunner. That kind of versatility could be his golden ticket. He's in a tight battle with return ace Nico Remigio. Nico's special teams explosiveness has been his calling card, but if the staff sees more all-around value in Thornton, even if he's less dynamic on returns, the edge could swing his way. It's a classic preseason dilemma. Lean on proven production or roll the dice on higher upside. And while we're on battles, few are drawing more attention than the duel for starting left tackle between Josh Simmons and Jalen Moore. Simmons, the first rounder out of Ohio State, is clawing his way back from injury, attacking every rehab session with urgency. He's logging 2-a-days, even 3-a-days, doing everything possible to be ready. But here's what speaks volumes. Simmons is studying Jalen Moore, the man he's trying to unseat. That level of humility, respect, and hunger says a lot. Simmons understands what's at stake, and that iron sharpens iron. Even if he claims the starting job, Moore could kick inside to guard, bolstering an already formidable offensive front. Also worth noting, the character concerns whispered about Simmons during the draft, nowhere to be seen. So far, he's been all business, all grind. If anything, he's displayed a level of discipline and maturity that exceeds his age. But now, let's shift the spotlight to a name that's been far too quiet in recent headlines. Marquise Hollywood Brown. After suffering an early setback in the 2024 preseason, Brown's late-season return left much to be desired. But now, he's rejuvenated, laser-focused, and on a mission to remind the league exactly who he is over the course of a full, healthy season. Patrick Mahomes has been effusive in his praise, commending Brown's relentless work ethic and positive influence inside the facility. If this version of Hollywood channels his Baltimore prime, where he posted over 1,000 yards as a WR1, he might just be the secret weapon in what's quickly becoming the deepest wide receiver core the Chiefs have fielded in years. With Rashee Rice on the verge of a breakout and rookie Xavier Worthy bringing explosive speed and scheme flexibility, Brown doesn't need to be the guy, but as a WR3, he could be one of the most dangerous in the league. Now let's talk trenches and the under-the-radar acquisition of Jerry Tillery on the defensive line. Fresh off a stint in Minnesota, Tillery has already embraced the Chiefs' championship ethos. He made it clear, expectations here aren't just high, they're sky high. And he's not just here to fill space. He's here to elevate, to prove he belongs on a roster built to chase history. That's the mindset you want from a veteran free agent. This isn't about collecting checks. It's about earning stripes in a system that demands excellence. Only 2 days into minicamp and the questions are piling up. Questions that could define the 2025 campaign. Can McDuffie rebound and reassert himself as an elite lockdown corner? Will Tyquan Thornton edge out Nico Remigio in the WR6 battle? Is Josh Simmons ready to seize the left tackle spot? And if so, does Jalen Moore become the next elite guard in KC's stacked offensive line rotation? Will Hollywood Brown resurrect his career and become Mahomes' most lethal deep threat? And can Jerry Tillery become the disruptor that ties the entire defensive front together? That's just the beginning of this evolving minicamp saga, and it's only heating up from here. Chiefs Kingdom, I want to hear from you. What do you make of McDuffie's early struggles? Are you backing Thornton or Remigio, and is Hollywood Brown poised for a redemption run that no one saw coming? Drop your takes in the comments right now, and don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more exclusive insight as the offseason unfolds, because here's the truth. The Chiefs aren't just trying to defend a title. They're rewriting the standard. As minicamp evolves, the storyline shifts from individual performances to something much deeper: culture, commitment, and championship DNA. Jerry Tillery's words should echo throughout the locker room. There's a very high level of expectations on everybody. It's important to buy in quickly. That's not just a quote, it's a mandate. In Kansas City, it's not about joining a team. It's about stepping into a dynasty. This team doesn't just demand talent, it demands transformation. You either elevate or you exit. And we're seeing that mindset embodied in Josh Simmons. Once tagged with pre-draft character concerns, Simmons is rewriting the narrative. You've got Simmons, a first-round phenom with elite traits and sky-high potential. You've got existing pillars like Jawan Taylor and Kingsley Sumatea now being repositioned to maximize their impact. See, when you're the Kansas City Chiefs and you've scaled the NFL summit multiple times, every decision is scrutinized under a microscope, like an insect pinned in a lab. Every draft pick, every free agent signing, every trade, it all matters, because the margin for error narrows to razor-thin levels when you're trying to sustain greatness. And that's precisely where we find ourselves today, discussing a move that could define the next decade of Chiefs football. The 2025 NFL Draft came and went, and while most fans were laser-focused on the flashy top picks, something intriguing was brewing down at pick number 32. Now, I know what you're thinking. Pick 32? That's just the last pick of the first round. What's the big deal? Let me tell you. That mindset is exactly why so many people miss the forest for the trees when it comes to constructing championship rosters. True dynasties aren't built on just the top 5 picks that everybody obsesses over on social media. They're forged in the fire of identifying hidden gems where others see risk, spotting raw talent where others see question marks, and having the guts to make bold decisions when the stakes are sky high. And that's precisely what Kansas City did when they stepped up to the podium and announced their selection. The name that echoed through the draft was Josh Simmons, an offensive tackle from Ohio State University. Now, before you roll your eyes and mutter, another offensive lineman, how thrilling, let me break down why this pick could either be the steal of the draft or the haunting misstep that shadows this franchise for years. First off, let's talk about what Ohio State has been producing lately. In the trenches, we're talking about a veritable factory of NFL-ready talent. These aren't just big bodies filling space. They're polished, technically sound, fundamentally disciplined players who grasp the intricacies of pass protection and run blocking at the elite level. When you see that Ohio State logo next to a lineman's name, you'd better sit up straight. History shows that Columbus knows how to mold linemen into pro. But here's where it gets truly fascinating, and I need y'all to lock in because this is critical to understanding the gravity of this pick. Josh Simmons wasn't supposed to be on the board at pick 32. Hell, most draft experts graded him as a top 10 talent. Some even put him in the top 5. So what went wrong? How did a player with that kind of pedigree slip all the way to the tail end of the first round? The answer is one word that strikes terror into the hearts of general managers, coaches, and fans alike: injuries. Evaluating talent in the NFL isn't just about what a player can do when they're healthy. It's about projecting what they can contribute over the course of a grueling, punishing NFL career. And when you're a championship caliber team like Kansas City, every detail counts. Simmons had been battling injury concerns that caused scouts and front offices to pause, questions that didn't necessarily take him off the board, but certainly forced teams to weigh the risk against the potential reward. And that's exactly the kind of high-stakes calculus that separates championship organizations from perennial underachievers. Now, let's talk about Kansas City's specific situation, because context in the NFL is everything. The Chiefs have faced questions along their offensive line, particularly at the... Listen up, Chiefs Kingdom. Y'all think you know what's next for your beloved red and gold? Think again. This franchise just pulled a move that sent shockwaves through the entire NFL landscape, and I'm here to unpack exactly why this decision could propel Kansas City into an unstoppable dynasty or leave them vulnerable to a dramatic fall. Don't you dare scroll past this. Watch every second of this breakdown, smash that like button, drop a W in the comments if you believe in the Chiefs, or an L if you've lost faith, and hit that subscribe button, because what I'm about to reveal will forever transform how you see this team's future. Now, let's dive deep into the heart of the matter. When you've got a generational quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, the literal engine that powers your entire offense, protecting his blind side is absolutely paramount. We're not just talking about keeping him on his feet. We're talking about giving him the time and pocket space to make those jaw-dropping highlight reel plays that have made him the face of the entire league. The left tackle position in the NFL is akin to being the Secret Service for the president. One slip up and the whole operation unravels. It's a role that demands a rare blend of size, athleticism, technique, and ironclad mental toughness. You're facing off against some of the most ferocious pass rushers on the planet, guys who've been honing their craft since childhood, and your singular mission is to ensure they don't get anywhere near your quarterback. What makes this pick even more compelling is how it aligns with Kansas City's long-term blueprint. This isn't just about patching a hole for the 2025 season. This is about laying the foundation for sustained excellence over the next 5 to 10 years. When you draft an offensive tackle in the first round, you're not just selecting a player, you're securing a franchise cornerstone. Someone you can build your offensive identity around for years to come. But here's where the stakes get even higher, and why I'm so fired up about this situation. The success rate for offensive tackles drafted in this range tells a story, one every Chiefs fan needs to grasp. We're not talking about randomly tossing darts and hoping for the best. We're talking about a meticulous risk-reward calculation based on historical data and performance patterns. Analyzing the last decade's drafts, offensive tackles selected between picks 21 and 37 have boasted a success rate of roughly 67%. That might not sound earth-shattering on its own, but when you compare it to the overall first-round success rate, which hovers around 50-55%, you start to see why this range has become a gold mine for unearthing quality starters. This isn't about tearing it down. It's about building upward with intelligence, vision, and calculated aggression. And let's not overlook the brilliance of Andy Reid's system. The motion-heavy quick strike scheme, the dynamic pass protections, and the tailored development plans for young linemen. It's all structured to set these guys up for success. Reid isn't going to toss them into the fire without the right tools. The staff knows this is a process. It takes time, communication, adjustment, and repetition. And that's exactly why they're grinding now, in the spring, in the summer, so that by week 1, this offensive line is humming at championship speed. But perhaps the most impressive piece in this entire equation, Patrick Mahomes. He could be frustrated with all the turnover, new faces, new timing, new reads, but instead, he's leaning in. He's embracing the challenge. He's using this moment to grow, to lead, to elevate everyone around him. When Mahomes talks about the importance of long drive drills, about getting reps, feeling the chemistry under fatigue, executing under duress, he's not just preparing, he's building a brotherhood. That's how great offensive lines are born. Not in perfect moments, but in pressure-packed reps when the bodies are tired and the mind must still focus. As training camp nears, all eyes will be locked on this offensive front. The expectations are towering, the pressure is immense. The stakes are sky high, but if any franchise knows how to thrive under that weight, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. This is the proving ground for more, for Simmons, for everyone tasked with protecting the crown jewel of the NFL. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe this line is ready to protect Mahomes? Smash that like button if you believe in this squad, and make sure to subscribe because we're breaking down every smart move this dynasty makes. Thank you guys. See you next video.